my handsome answers and my beautiful goals, we have to talk. I have never ever seen such crazy listings when it comes to dolls purchased on eBay. Not just listed on eBay, purchased. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Lodi. It's a collectible source mostly of dollies, and I do a whole series where I take 10 dolls off of either eBay or Mercari that are listed, but on the sold tab, I do check the sold listings. And it's a little insane how much these dolls are sold for, whether they're new in box, outside of box, sometimes just the outfits. And by no means is this meant for resellers. It's meant for the doll community. It's just something I want to bring to your attention, and something, you know, I think we all get curious as to how much a doll is worth. I know some of you don't, I mean, all of us, I think most of us can agree that the Monsterhigh prices are a little ridiculous, but it is nice to know, I guess, how much they are going for, at least in my perspective. I have mentioned before that my fiance is a Pokemon collector, and having completed the 151 set, yeah, I think it's the 151 set, he's not willing to part ways with it, but just knowing he has a special item that goes for a lot of money, it's just a cool concept, okay? So that's the whole point of the video. It's not meant to like upset anyone or anything like that. It's just information, especially for people that are curious as myself. So now that I've gotten all the disclaimers, there's a couple more. USD pricing only, again, 10 in and out of box dolls. I will go through that in a moment. What else am I missing? Sometimes what I used to do is not do bids. This time around, I am doing bids on dolls, so I am looking at dolls that were bidded on. Sometimes you can get a doll for a cheaper going rate price, a cheaper price in general, if you do a bid. But they're honestly, even when you bid on some of these Monsterhigh dolls, they go for a lot of money. So enough yapping away. That was a long intro, but I did want to get that out of my way in case you are new to my series. So without further ado, let's see what the Sweet Screams Monsterhigh dollies are going for. Looking at Abby, new in box. At the lowest I seen her purchased for was $143 USD. At the most, $299.94. So that brings her average new in box for $201.07, which is a little insane. Out of box, nearly complete. So what I mean by nearly complete, they at least have the shoes. A lot of times they have other things like all of their accessories. Sometimes either like if they come with a picture. Like I said, nearly complete. So, but out of box. So at the least, I seen Miss Abby being sold for $70 USD. At the most, I seen Abby being sold for $159. On average, this doll sells for $119.08. Wow. Moving on to Miss Gulia. I love Gulia. Her prices are not much better. Her prices are not much better. She's a little bit cheaper than Abby, I might add, but not by much. So new in box Gulia from Sweet Screams, I seen her purchased at the least, I don't know if I said that, sorry, at the least $100, and at the most $200. So that brings her average to $165.62. Now Gulia out of box, nearly complete. At the least, I see her purchase for $55. At the most, $139.99. So, hold on. In any case, where was I at? Alright, I'm just gonna repeat myself. So, out of box, Gulia, at the least, $75. At the most, out of box, it looks like $139. Yes. So that brings Gulia's out of box average to $91.25. Now moving on to Twyla. Now Twyla was released this year, but she is still selling for a pretty penny as well. Twyla, new in box, is being purchased at the least that I've seen, okay? Doesn't mean you can't get her for cheaper. You never know. Is $169.99, okay? At the most, I've seen people purchase her for $295. So that brings her average to $211.08. Now, I did make a note here because I could not find any listings for out of box Twyla. I don't know, lots of items of Twyla were sold separately, so they're picking bits and pieces of her. Didn't find any dolls out of box with her item, so she's not getting averages for out of box, so please keep that in mind. If you do want Twyla secondhand, I would maybe try to do a trade with a fellow collector. I think that seems fair. Do like a trade or something because these prices are crazy. Or just don't buy them. Or don't buy it. You can miss out, which is kind of sad. I mean, Sweet Screams is crazy. I don't know. I don't know if it's better off for you to just buy the doll itself naked and then try to get the pieces yourself at like a good deal. No sé. In any case, moving on. So Frankie, they can be purchased at the very least for $142.50. At least that's what I've seen. At the most, they were purchased at $229.49, which brings their average to $168.73. Now, Frankie, out of box, nearly complete. At the least, they were purchased at $80 USD. At the most, $170. And that's out of box. On average, Frankie has been bought at $123.80. Moving on to the last one, the last goal, Draculaura. As many of you may know, Draculaura is a fan favorite. She's also my favorite, and maybe your favorite. But I know some of you that I've talked to love like Ghoulia or like Spectra, so I'm glad we have like a diverse little community of favorite Mansters and goals. Who's your favorite Manster, by the way? I'm sorry, I'm changing the subject real quick before I go on. Because I don't think we would talk Mansters. I like Deuce. Who's your favorite Manster? Comment below. Anyway, Draculaura new unbox was purchased in 3 months. Okay, these averages are within 3 months. $365 at the least. At the most, no, actually, I lied. At the least, Draculaura within 3 months has been purchased at $279. At the most, Draculaura new unbox has been purchased at $559.99. That brings her average to $413.04. You guys will have to tell me below how much these dolls retailed for because, wow. Out of box, nearly complete Draculaura. The least I seen her purchased at was $60. I do remember that correctly. I don't think they had like a lot of extras. They did have the shoes and everything else, but and the ties around the hair, because sometimes they were missing, so I didn't count those if they were missing the ties around the hair. So $60 at the least out of box Draculaura was purchased for within 3 months. At the most, $300, which brings her average to $184.25. Guys, these prices are insane. They are absolutely insane. I know before I really got into Monsterhigh, people were saying like, you don't want to become a Monsterhigh collector. The prices are crazy. And they are. They really are. That's why I do really enjoy thrifting. I do really enjoy going to my local Goodwill because that's where I got my first caddy. When I went to the flea market, I got some of my grill dolls. I'll be showing you guys some more grill dolls in a future video this week, I promise. I keep holding off because we have a few more dolls coming in the mail because, excuse me, we have also gotten into Whatnot. Now, Whatnot is a very addicting platform, okay? I will preface by saying that. It's a very addicting platform. If you are somebody susceptible to being a shopaholic, do not download it. You will be there and streaming. You will be watching streams for hours. I kid you not. I literally delete it off my phone, and like sometimes I'll re-download it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, just so I could see what's up if anybody's on that I like, but then I delete it. I mostly just watch it with my fiance here and there to see if we could get any good deals. So the upcoming Grail video, my mom got some deals wherever she purchases from. I think she does usually eBay Mercari. And then Stavi usually does things on Whatnot. If you're not familiar with Whatnot, it's more of a bidding app. So they give you like 10, sometimes 30 seconds, but typically I think it's 10 seconds where the timer goes down and you could bid on a doll. Sometimes they're fully clothed, sometimes they're naked, sometimes they're missing limbs. And you bid with fellow collectors or fellow people that also want the doll. Sometimes nobody wants it and you win the bid, which is cool. But I'm going besides the point. Just know, like, I like to do these videos just so you guys have an idea of what you're getting yourself into, like when you're purchasing Monsterhigh dolls. Like, I like, if you want to reference this video and like, oh, I'm thinking of getting the Sweet Screams, and you're like, oh, this is a good deal, and you don't want to do the work, I've done the work for you. You say like, oh, okay, Lodi's Heart said that, you know, at the least this was purchased within 3 months at $100, and this seller's selling it for $60. You know what? I'm probably never gonna see that price again unless you wait a few years. Who knows? Maybe Monsterhigh will be not become. Maybe Monsterhigh will not become as popular later. And if you have that kind of patience, do it. But if you are a little bit like me and you're a little impatient and you just want the doll now, and you just want to see if you got yourself a good deal, go ahead. You know, download this video if you need to. And if you're not like, if you don't have the internet or are away from, what am I trying to say? I don't know. I've been talking for too long. My mouth is watering because I had M&Ms earlier. Now my body's like, you're hungry. I'm like, no, I'm not hungry. Maybe I'm a little hungry. I gotta stop doing these videos when I'm hungry. But in any case, friends, comment below if you're surprised by any of these averages. Comment below which doll you own, because I know some of you have been buying these dolls for a minute and maybe bought them when they were retail price. And then if that's the case, let me know what they retailed for. Rosie's barking at God knows what. So she's telling me, Ma, come on, let's go see. So in case, friends, don't forget to like this video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And comment whatever I just told you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.